My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Toy Story. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But I watched this movie all the time as a kid. Like, this movie is my childhood, and even whenever I rewatch it as an adult, it still holds up remarkably well. It is a perfect introduction to these characters, to this world, but I do feel like I have a bit of a hot take regarding it, which is as of right now, before Toy Story 5, this one's my least favorite of the franchise. I still love it, but I do think the sequels improve upon it in every way. But let's begin by talking about the cast, and Tom Hanks is just so iconic as Woody. He brings this character to life so perfectly, and he carries the movie incredibly well, and he's just always convincing. Sometimes I think we forget just how good of an actor Tom Hanks is, but he fully delivers here. Tim Allen, I do like him, but he really hasn't been in all that many movies, and he really stands out here. Like in the first half, he's really funny and over the top as Buzz, but in the second half, he does bring a surprising level of depth, and he just always does what he needs to do, and he's also iconic as this character. Don Rickles as Mr. Potato Head. Okay, he is such an asshole, but he's really funny. Every line delivery is pitch perfect, and Jim Varney as Slinky also does a real good job. Wallace Shawn as Rex is hilarious. He brings plenty of personality to his character. Annie Potts as Bo Peep does a good job as well. John Ratzenberger as Ham, very funny, very entertaining. Ali Emery is perfectly cast as the little green military dude. John Morris as Andy, like, he doesn't really have much to do here, but he still highlighted everything that he needed to. Laurie Metcalf does a good job, and Eric Von Deeten as Sid also really stands out. So everybody does a phenomenal job here, and not only do the characters have lots of personality, but they do have real depth. I love how this is a movie about insecurity and jealousy, and about how change is an inevitable part of life and trying to cope with it. And the story might be really simplistic, but boy does it work, and it does have emotion, it does have depth, and the world building here is just so rich. Like the way the toys function, the way Andy plays with them, just so much attention to detail that makes these characters and makes just everything about this movie feel real. And it's really funny. Like, I actually don't think this movie gets the recognition it deserves for just how hilarious this movie is. I love that one scene where Sid is torturing Woody and he's like, "Where is your rebel base?" And then he goes downstairs and Buzz is like, "Great work, Woody. A weaker man would have given him that information." Oh, I like at the end when Mrs. Potato Head is announced and Mr. Potato Head is like, "I need to shave." And he just removes his mustache. I like when he has his face on sideways and he's like, "Look, I'm Picasso." The scene where Woody is talking to the other toys and he has Buzz's arm is just comedy gold. The Mrs. Nisbet scene is really funny. And, okay, I kind of love how the movie ends with all the toys traumatizing Sid. Like, it's actually really dark, but really funny. So the movie's got a terrific sense of humor, and I do appreciate how there's a bit of an edge here. Like, I'm not going to say this movie is scary or anything, but as a kid, it did freak me out at times. Sid's house did have a frightening presence. The dog, I can't think of his name, but he really scared me as a kid. All the creepy looking toys and how they come to life at the end. You know, it might not be much, but it's enough to allow this movie to stand out. And I do think the climax of this movie of Woody and Buzz trying to catch up with Andy to be a very thrilling end. So there is just so much great writing on display, and I always forget that Josh Whedon was one of the writers of this movie. Like, it's kind of nuts. But him and the other writers did a really terrific job, and I do love the music by Randy Newman. It just sounds iconic to this franchise, and some of the songs are just pitch perfect. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. Love it. So good. I also think Strange Things is a very underrated song. I haven't been to Disneyland in a while, but sometimes they play a retro version of it in Tomorrowland, and it's actually maybe my favorite Randy Newman song, if I'm being honest. I Will Go Sailing No More is a nice emotional song, and it's time to talk about the animation because this movie is so important in cinema history as it was the first fully 3D animated movie. And look, sometimes you can definitely tell the humans don't look great, the dog doesn't look great, and sometimes some of the designs can feel a little amateurish. But considering that this one is the very first, it still holds up incredibly well. They were never lazy, they really went for it, and just every environment and every character felt alive, and the decision to make a movie focused on toys was the perfect decision for the first animated movie. Like 3D animated movie. Just really well planned out, and yeah, like this is a movie I have watched so many times in my life and I will continue to do so. It is iconic and emotional and funny and it has depth and I love how much personality the characters have. It's a very short, easy movie to watch. I love how there's a bit of an edge to it. The music's terrific. Like, what's not to love here? It doesn't get to the heights of the sequels, but it's still a perfect movie and I'm giving Toy Story a 9 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Toy Story? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.